Hi, my name is Joseph, and today I want to talk about buying a car. Everybody needs a car. Do you need a car? Well, the thing to do is count your numbers before you go because once you know what you can work with or what you're working with, it's easier for you to make a decision. All right, from the beginning. First, I do not go to a mom and pop shop to buy a car. Have I ever? Yes. One of the best places I found a used car was in Brockton. I paid like $750 for the car. That car lasted me good. The alternator went out and I pushed it everywhere. I had to push it to get it started, but I love that little car. It was a little red one. I don't know if anybody remembers that. But generally, I don't go to a mom and pop shop because, no offense, but normally when you buy the car from the mom and pop shop, you can drive it off the lot, especially here in Arizona. It looks so good. Those cars almost look new. That's how good they look. But when you drive it off the lot, maybe about a month or two later, you have to bring it back to the people that you brought it from, or you got to take it to the shop to get something repaired. I just don't have the time. I'll drive for Uber. I need a dependable car. So what I do is I usually go to the car dealership to find my car. Now, a few things I do before I go to the dealership is I'll look at TV and I'll look at what kind of advertisements are on TV. Like, for instance, right now it's Honda. Honda saying zero down, zero interest, zero first month's payment, and another zero. I can't remember. But that's a good time to go buy a Honda if you want a Honda because you know you don't have to pay nothing down. The fine print might say you got to have a 700 credit score. I'm not sure. I didn't read it. I'm too big. I'm 6'1". I can't fit in the Honda, but it looks good. What I do then is I look at all the other ones and I say which kind of car I want. And once I know what I want, the second thing I do is find out what my credit score is. And there's Credit Karma, which they don't tell you the whole truth. Or you can go to Experian.com and they'll get you your credit score. Once you know or even your bank, a lot of people will give you your credit score. And once you know your credit score, the third thing you have to know is how much you can afford. Now, I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and do no financial planning with you. I retired from that. But the easiest thing to do is look at how much money you make, or take home, I should say, and then deduct every bill that you pay. You know, whether it's your rent or mortgage, the electricity bill, the water bill, if you pay that, whatever else you pay. You go down the line, credit cards, everything that you pay on a monthly basis, write it all down. You also should put your food in there. I don't know what you pay a week, but if you got a $100 monthly food bill, then make sure you put that down. That's $400 a month, not including any time that you eat lunch at Starbucks or wherever else you get your coffee or whatever. You got to include all of that into your budget just to figure out how much money you got left over. Let's say you got $500. So when you go to the dealership, you know that you can't afford a car that they're going to give it to you for 750. You can only work with $500. So now you know how much you got to work with. You know your credit score. I get on the phone and I start calling. Hey Ford, can you give me a car with no money down and zero interest? And I'll call a few of them until I get someone to say, yeah, we can do that. Can you come down? I like to go to the dealership because I brought a Jetta over the phone. And when I got to the dealership, I was so naive. I brought the car. It had like 1,400 miles on it. And I drove off with it. That car gave me so many problems. I'm like crazy. I would never do that again. So this Carvana and all these people no, it's better to go pick your own car. And when I walk the lot, I'm looking, and the car that jumps out at me, that's the one I want because I'm saying to myself, I drive fast, I drive a lot of hours, I need a car that's going to hang with me. So when the car jumps out at me on the lot, that's the one I go after. So I'm at the dealership, I'm talking to the dude. The dude convinced me in person that he can work with no money down. Now he's probably saying I might not get it to you for zero interest, but let's see what we can do. I have a feeling this is a good, it'll be a good relationship. So I go further. I fill out the credit application. Now, here's a word of caution. Never fill out the credit application until you know this is the place you want to buy the car and that they're going to be willing to give you a good deal. Because if you get mad at that person, which I do, let me tell you this, uh, I do because I negotiate. If I have to stand on their desk, jump up and down, scream at the top of my lungs, my wife, she hates it. She walks away every time I get to that point. But what I'm doing is I'm like, it's like playing poker. You call their bluff because they want to sell you the car just as much as you want to buy it. So if you walk in there all timid, they're just going to hand you whatever. What you want to do is you want to put on that bold face, and that's why I get loud. I don't really slam stuff around. I don't do that no more. But I get loud. I walk away like I'm going to walk out the door. And I like it when they say, Mike, come back, come back. Then sometimes I turn around and go back and work with them. But, anything that gives you the upper hand at the dealership is what you do so that you can get the best deal. And, that drops $500, that drops $1,000 off of it. That drops a lot of money because they want to sell you the car. Anyway, I'm at the dealership. I'm talking to the guy. I fill out the credit report. Let me go with that. So if you don't like the guy and you walk away and you go next door and fill out another credit report and go through the same process and then go to the one next door from that and fill out another credit report, well, the bank looks like you brought, to the bank, it looks like you brought 5 cars. Or I'm sorry, 3 cars in the same day. And you don't want that. You only want to fill out the credit report when you're sure that you're going to work with that person. You get, all right. So now you're in the car, you take it for test drive, you like the car. Man, the guy sounded good or the girl that's selling your car sounds real good. Everything seems like it's going to work, right? The next thing you do is, you take a moment, you look for the vehicle identification number, which is like on the dashboard right by the steering wheel, and you call your insurance company. You give them the VIN number. Then you ask them how much insurance is going to cost. Because if you're buying a new car, which I buy new cars, I don't buy used cars. When you give them the vehicle identification number, then the insurance company will give you a quote. That quote might be $125 a month. That quote might be $250 a month. Whatever that quote is, you got to add that to how much you can afford. So if you say you can only afford $500 and your quote for insurance is $125, then you can only afford a car for $375 a month. They don't got too many of those out there, but they do. They got a few of them. And so instead of having that Cadillac or that Lexus, you might have to step down and get you a Escort or a Pinto. You know what I mean. But those are the facts that you need to walk around with when you're going to the dealership. And once you do all of that and you negotiate it, then the last step for you to do is go into the finance office. In the finance office, they whip you. They beat you up. You want a tire protection plan? What you do want is gap insurance. If you can buy gap insurance, it's good because if anything happens, you had an accident with the car and you still owe money over what they're paying you for the car accident, then the gap insurance comes in and pays that. So you end up owing nothing. It's a little costly, but it's worth every bit of it. But they will try to make you buy a whole bunch of packages. And simply put, if you can't afford them, just say no. The other thing to look at is when you're in there, if let's say you traded in a car, let's say you owe $9,000 on your trade-in. This happened to me, and this is how I know. So I got a car that was worth $22,000, but I owed $9,000 on the Camaro that I traded in. Now, I wasn't aware of this, but when I got to the finance man and I'm looking over that big yellow document that he gave me, I see that they added that $9,000 in there. I'm like, now this $22,000 car is worth $32,000 car. Holy, no, I don't want to do that. Now, truth be told, what I do is I just have them voluntarily repossess the car, and then I negotiate. And what will happen is that the company that financed it, everybody can't do this. I do this. The company that can't finance it, they'll go ahead and sell it for me and then come back and give me a settlement number of the bill, which then I will go into my credit thing, my credit app, or when you clean your credit and you say, okay, I owe the company still $5,000 on the car, and then I'll call them up a little later and say, hey, would you settle for $1,000? And so I don't have to pay that much for the same car. I just don't believe that I'm gonna continue to carry that $9,000 on a car which I'm not driving no more. And you'll see what I mean when you go through the process. For me, it works. For you, it may not work. My conscience is clean when I have to repossess my cars because I know that down the line, I'm going to go ahead and negotiate the in balance, and it's going to be off my credit record. And that's why I do that. But for right now, that I need a better car, and that $9,000 is going to make me afford a lower car, which I'm not trying to do. Is there anything else that you need to know about buying a car? Let me know. If you like what you heard, even if you don't like it, somebody could use this. Put it on your social media accounts. Let everybody, decide for themselves, and just hit me up, and I'll answer anything that I can. Have a good day.